wait just a minute. Go a little further back. Yeah, right. A little bit.
I'm going to stay out of the way as you do this.
Thank you. Thank you. That's looking great. Why don't we just go ahead right there? Go ahead, Jan.
Hello, my name is Jann Hunter, and I have the privilege to be able to visit with you today about some things in education that I'm very excited about. A little bit about myself. I grew up in Clovis, New Mexico. I'm a graduate of Eastern New Mexico University, and I've had a career in education that is over 37 years. I've been a teacher in many, many grade levels. I've taught in Clovis, Odessa, Texas, Albuquerque, and I currently live in Cloudcroft, New Mexico, where I was an educator there for 6 years, and then I was a special ed director there. And then in Alamogordo, I was the director of curriculum instruction for Alamogordo Public Schools. Prior to that position, I was given the opportunity to complete my doctorate in philosophy at New Mexico State University, and I just, again, was so grateful for all the experiences I had and everything I learned as I had that opportunity to grow and develop as an educator. So today I'm here to discuss some fun things that have influenced me a great deal as I've learned how to better care for teachers and educators in their school systems. I think that one of the most important things you can do is develop teacher voice and give teachers the opportunity to learn and grow and be a part of the system that they're working in, and to be able to make quality decisions that support student growth. In Alamogordo, my superintendent at the time asked me to put together something that he called a curriculum coordinating council. Now, I had never really heard of that phrase, and you may call something similar to this another phrase, but when I did some research, I realized that it's a kind of a used concept nationally. So I Googled it actually and found lots of good resources from other states and districts. And so the concept of a curriculum coordinating council was provided to me, and then he asked me to build that for the district that I was working in Alamogordo, New Mexico. So starting off, I want to say that I had always prided myself in working very collaboratively with teachers when they are working on textbook adoption or looking at resources for their classrooms and so forth. So I might use a model that you may be familiar with, for instance, like it's the math adoption year, and so you're going to have teachers from all the different school sites be involved in committees. I would kind of laugh about this. I would not let vendors into the district until my teachers had had an opportunity to go to Las Cruces, where all the resources were housed at the time. This is the way they used to do it. And we took our standards and we went through those materials and resources with the standards. So I didn't want the teachers to be influenced by something that might appear to look great without them having an opportunity to really evaluate and analyze how the standards attach to those resources. So I believe that with what I'm going to talk about, I had already done a good job of involving teachers and making sure that they were learning more about what they wanted and what would be best for their students. But once I started researching the Curriculum Coordinating Council, I learned that there was a lot more that we could put in place that would give teachers even more voice and more ability to be leaders for their school and for their classes. So today, as I talk about the Curriculum Coordinating Council, I'm going to break it into several sections. The first section that I'm going to talk about is building talent, teacher leadership. I believe that the teachers in your building are the most important talent that you have. They're the most important resource that is embedded into the framework of your school building, your site, and your district. And so how do you build that? We know that today we have need for great teachers, and they come to our schools at various levels based upon their past experience. So how do we embrace them and give them more and more opportunities to grow? And we are part of building the talent that's in our buildings. So I'm going to talk about building teacher leadership. One of the most important features, according to Public Impact, which is a federal research regarding what's important in schools, is building teacher and principal leadership. And we're going to talk about that at a deeper level and how this Curriculum Coordinating Council connects to the teachers that you have in helping them build themselves and become confident and understanding of themselves as educators, doing the most important work that we have in our nation. So we're going to talk about how to build that talent. Another feature that I'm going to talk about is the professional learning community. And there's a lot of understanding with DeFore and various researchers about what we call PLCs. But within this Curriculum Coordinating Council are PLCs at work, really functioning. And I think that sometimes, from my observation, PLCs are just a name that's put on a group, and teachers sometimes and principals are not sure exactly how they function and what their role is. And what I learned from my experience with curriculum coordinating councils is that the PLC has various roles. They do different things with the work. They're looking at student work, observing their data perhaps, looking at working together on planning. But when they're also involved in conversations with their peers, in the evaluation and looking at resources and standards, those PLCs come alive because they really have an important mission that connects them to the importance of their PLC, either in their building at their site or even as a district, in a district PLC that might be developed based on grade spans or perhaps on content area. So that's another feature that we're going to go into at a deeper level, is showing how through the Curriculum Coordinating Council, you're building talent and you're reinforcing the beauty and value of professional learning communities. Another thing that we're going to talk about is guaranteed and viable curriculum. Of course, Marzano and their work refer to a guaranteed and viable curriculum, but sometimes, again, what does that mean exactly? So where do we go in order to develop praxis, meaning the understanding of the literature, understanding what research says about best practice, as well as the practice of using that in order to guarantee and assure that what is happening instructionally in the classroom is viable and that students will be guaranteed success. So when you're using your Curriculum and Coordinating Council to connect those pieces together, there's nothing more rich than you can do for building your teachers, building their talent, reinforcing their time together, and working collaboratively with various tools that I'm going to discuss. There's various rubrics, national rubrics, various rubrics and tools that are already available, or how would you design your own for schools and your teachers to really be able to evaluate and constructively consider the best resources for their students and for their classrooms. And finally, oftentimes having a Curriculum Coordinating Council is a way, if perhaps you might have something that might come up, that might be just a task that you weren't even anticipating. For instance, perhaps there's a text that is being used in a particular classroom where there might be some concern from some parents or something. How can you use your Curriculum Coordinating Council, who are already established, who have been empowered to understand at the research and the resources to go back in, evaluate, and be given the privilege of being able to speak to the question. So there are many things and features that we can empower our teachers. For instance, grant writing. If you had teachers that were interested in learning how to write grants, how would the grant process intersect with the Curriculum Coordinating Council so that there can be strong conversations between an opportunity for some additional funding and making sure that it does align and works to support the needs of the teachers and the students in the school. I look forward to having this opportunity to work with you. I am a person that obviously is very passionate about the potential and the capacity of teachers and the capacity for public schools and what we can do to all work together to collaborate and learn and grow. Thank you.
I could give you a kiss.